I want them to be reasonably ripe, have no marks on the back, and not be bruised.
Un aliment riche, nourrissant, donc les vitamines, je pense, oui.
They look nice, I just pick them up and buy them.
Elle est belle, elle est bien jaune, elle est grande et elle est appétissante.
Clean looking bananas that aren't black and that look nice to eat, so you can enjoy them later on in the week.
Des bananes bien jaunes et des bananes d'aspect correct. C'est pourquoi que j'ai choisi celle-ci.
It has taken these shoppers just a few seconds to make their choice, but it took 9 months, 3,000 people and 5,000 miles for the bananas to get here. They're from West Africa, from Cameroon, which lies just north of the equator. It's a country where traditions are still proudly celebrated, and where tropical crop plantations are a way of life. Bananas, too, are a part of the way of life. They've been grown here for almost a century. Indeed, the process of planting today may look little different from the way it might have been 50 years ago. But looks can be deceptive, for banana production from Cameroon is big business. Since an agreement was made a decade ago between the Cameroon Development Corporation and international food producers Del Monte, the methods of production have been transformed and the quantity exported increased tenfold.
Cameroon Development Corporation, CDC, and Del Monte Fresh Produce International, they are in partnership on this plantation, this banana plantation. There's a loan agreement between Del Monte and CDC, where Del Monte provides the funds, which CDC uses in operating this plantation.
Del Monte Cameroon is financing the project with interest-free loans. It's CDC who grows, produces and processes the bananas, following the specification and the standards of Del Monte.
The agreement then guarantees that Del Monte will purchase all the exportable bananas from the plantation for selling on the international market. But there's more to the agreement than just finance.
Del Monte makes sure that the banana which CDC produces meets the international standards. Del Monte makes sure that the volumes are met. Then Del Monte makes sure that they transfer technology, modern technology, to Cameroonian staff and workers. And I think that's very important for CDC.
The working relationship is very good because each partner is having some advantages from it.
Essentially, the growing pattern of a banana plant is simple and straightforward. It's a herbaceous perennial evergreen, and once it's planted, the process is continuous.
mais l'amour dit day, 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 day. Bumbamo e passi, ne passi, nate, nati beya. Mwambi muni busate, ke di wongi di ninyama. Omoki se sonde mondo ki lao. Wanga.
Banana plants the world over follow this natural cycle of growth. What is not the same is the way they're cared for. And here in Cameroon, the way the plants are managed and the fruit is handled has changed beyond recognition. For a start, there is continuous monitoring of the growth and health of the plants and the condition of the soil, with the results of these checks being scientifically analysed.
We do analyze the soil and the leaf, see what our plants need, what nutrients are lacking, in order to maintain it within the optimum level for banana production. At the moment, I'm doing a nematode count evaluation.
Nematodes are tiny worms that, by attacking the roots of plants, are a problem the world over. The work here is part of the process of determining the nematode population across the plantation.
The plant depends on the roots for nutrients from the soil and for anchorage. So if we don't control the infected roots, if we don't treat them, the bananas produced at the end will not be of good quality.
So how are the bananas treated? In the past, the answer to every problem would probably have been chemical treatment. Today, the approach taken by the CDC Del Monte partnership is altogether more controlled. Whilst pesticides are still used, they're applied only under strict regulations and follow standards set by the US Environmental Protection Agency.
Del Monte has a policy where you have to start off with continuously monitor the disease situation so that once it gets to a certain level where we think control is necessary, we use the best product available and use the best method of application.
With crop spraying planes using advanced satellite guidance systems, precise amounts of pesticide are applied exactly where they're needed.
The coverage improves, so the disease control also improves. This considerably reduces the amount of chemicals used. You use very little chemical.
In fact, Del Monte is using an integrated approach to maintaining the health of the plantation, and that means a greater emphasis on organic methods. Everything is recycled: the foliage, the stems, even spent grain from local breweries, and waste organic matter like these oil palm husks from CDC's other plantations. They were thrown away before. Now they're applied around the plants to enrich the soil.
Anybody who comes in here and finds a field with a lot of foliage might not understand why it is so. It is very, very important to the soil status. It helps to improve the fertility. It adds more nutrients to the soil.
Such is the commitment to the use of organic matter, the plantation has invested in new equipment that spreads oil palm husks and complements the work done manually. Investment, too, in water management, which is vital for a successful plantation here in the tropics. For 6 months of the year, during the dry season, irrigation is essential. But water is not used wastefully. The CDC Del Monte partnership has installed a permanent under-tree system, ensuring complete, effective coverage. What's needed in the rainy season is effective drainage. Here, on areas being prepared for new crops, drainage ditches are being dug, and across the whole plantation, 100 miles of ditches keep the soil well drained. New areas like this are created by regenerating areas where lower quality banana plants were grown and reclaiming old palm tree plantations. Over a 5-year period, every field in the plantation lies fallow in rotation for 2 years. On this open land, subsoiling prepares the soil for the new plants. This will help the roots penetrate the soil and obtain the nutrients they need, and eventually lead to increased yields from the plants. When these areas are replanted at the end of their fallow period, it'll be with disease-free varieties which have been developed in laboratories under controlled conditions. 20,000 of these tissue culture plants are delivered each week and tended in the plantation's nursery.
When you start with a tissue culture plant, in a disease-free environment, you are bound to have very good plants.
In the end, they produce better bunches, nice bunches. I think that's what the producers are looking for.
You will not conclude that if the plant is a tissue culture plant, you automatically do well. You also have to take care of the plants.
And care is the watchword here. Every time a banana is handled, there's a risk of bruising or damage. Which is why in all operations the fruit is seldom touched. The problem is, any bruising won't show up immediately, only after the fruit ripens. Yet the demands of European supermarkets and their customers are alien to most of those working in the plantation. How can they be expected to deliver the kind of care that the banana needs?
To enable the worker to understand what you want, you need to educate them, you need to teach them. You need to go some refresher courses. Get it right at the top part of the stock. Our intention is to make the product look fine for the customer.
No.
This is where Del Monte can make a particular contribution, bringing experience from its operations worldwide to the farms in Cameroon. One technical development that has already been introduced is a 200-kilometre cableway unique in Africa. This system transports the bananas from plantation to packing stations without risk of damaging the fruit and keeping it out of the glare of the tropical sun. But change and improvement is a continuous process, and Del Monte is bringing to Cameroon not just equipment, but also the knowledge and techniques used successfully elsewhere. While this video was being made, Del Monte began introducing foam protection for the banana fingers during harvesting.
Okay, this is correct. From what direction?
Okay, from your right to your left. This is an operation that is carried out in other countries, and we are trying to implement it here, because really we need to improve our quality and really to be sure that what we are doing every day here is better than what we did yesterday.
The quality has greatly improved,
One by one.
and many staff have been trained, either through seminars, either going abroad, and this has tremendously helped for the improvement of the quality and management.
These are people who produce a product of quality, who are interested in maintaining that quality for the European market, because without quality, we won't be able to compete with other producers at the world market.
And there is here a very real desire to please and for the banana plantation to succeed right through the CDC Del Monte partnership. Not least because this banana project provides work for 3,000 employees. Its success is vital to the future of the whole country's economy.
Economic activity like the banana operations, which provide employment, is very important to our country. We think that the quality of bananas produced by Cameroon is very well known. We intend to maintain that quality and even produce more bananas for the world market.
An investment in people who produce the fruit is as vital as the investment in new varieties of plants and new technology.
People are very important, because without them we can't do anything. The workers are the first asset for any establishment.
It wasn't always this way. It's midday and the packing stations have stopped work. Across the way, everyone is having a meal. Food and a place to eat are now provided by the plantation. Before there was nothing, and workers were likely to eat nothing all day. Another improvement of which the plantation is proud is the introduction of a new bus service for their workers.
sometimes even they had to wait for long hours where they could not have even a seat, where they could not have a place to hang. So with the new transportation system now, for the project workers, it's a great improvement.
And the aim of all this, to create an environment ideal for producing bananas that reach their customers in peak condition. The operation here is to sort, clean, grade into size and pack only top quality fruit for transport to Europe. Every tray to be boxed is weighed to make sure that it conforms to European community specifications. This is likely to be the last time that the banana hands come into contact with human hands before the European customers make their choice. And quite a few don't make it that far. Fruit that is too big, too small, marked or bruised is rejected. Anything that looks as if it might damage the reputation of the Cameroon banana is not accepted.
23.6.
At every stage, it's been check, check, and check again.
This is a scar. We cannot use this. This is a fuse fingers. We cannot pack this type of banana.
And out they go. It's now only the superior fruit that will be exported. Once stacked onto pallets, they'll be ready to travel, and the pallets are well used to the journey. They're designed to be used time and time again, carrying their loads between Africa and Europe. Cocooned in their boxes and stacked and carried to give them maximum protection, the bananas are prepared for their journey. Like at every stage, however, they're still handled with great care to maintain the quality that has been so painstakingly achieved.
Qualities are very high, and we in the plantation, we make sure we maintain the standards, because we know that there's competition in the banana markets, and if your bananas are not of high quality, you will not be able to compete.
Overall, there are 2,200 hectares in the Del Monte CDC plantations, producing 300 tons of bananas a day. And twice a week, these are shipped from Cameroon to Europe. Now the fruit's 5,000-mile journey has begun, and the priority is to delay the ripening process and to preserve the quality. Pallets are not left standing around in the heat. It's only been 6 hours since the fruit was harvested, and now it's ready to be loaded into the ship's compartment, where it'll be kept in suspended animation at 13 degrees for the journey along the coast of West Africa and into the ports of Europe. But not before another check.
We have the quality control inspectors in port. They check the fruit upon arrival to make sure the quality specifications are respected to meet the market and satisfy the customer. Now, our prime objective is to maintain quality, where the customer is happy.
Once it's on board, the temperature in the hold will be kept constant, and the fruit's temperature continuously monitored. When it reaches its destination, the first task is to check that it's all been worthwhile and that the bananas have not been damaged and have arrived in the same condition as when they left Cameroon.
We're looking to make sure that the fruit is clean and firm, and obviously at the port of intake green. It's necessary that it's green. If we have ripe fruit, then obviously it's going to perhaps set off some other boxes to turn yellow, which is what we don't want. We're looking for underpeel discoloration or false chill. It turns the fruit greyish and it takes away completely from the cosmetic appearance of the fruit once the fruit has ripened. No UT.
To ripen the fruit, the bananas are taken to ripening centres close to their main customers across Europe. For the next 5 to 14 days, these boxes will be left to ripen. The job here is to bring the bananas to peak condition just when the customers want them. Temperatures and other ripening conditions are adjusted automatically to control how quickly the bananas ripen, and air is sucked through continuously to make sure all the bananas in the room ripen evenly.
These particular bananas have just come in. They'll be held at a temperature until it's time to put them in a 5.5 day cycle of ripening. The cycle starts with a gentle rise in temperature, then some ethylene will be applied to the bananas to bring out their own ethylene. And then each day the temperature will be adjusted.
The final test, though, is often a visual one. If the colour is right and all the other indicators are right, then they're on their way. But not without one final check for quality and box weight. The customers have come to take quality for granted. And this is the last opportunity to guarantee that quality is what they get.
What on the conveyor belt is the actual final packing on the day of dispatch. Any obvious defects, the packing staff take out anything that's obvious to them. And then we take anything between 5 and 15 samples from the end of the line. We bring it in here, we weigh it, we take the temperature, we look at the colour, and we're generally just giving a last finished product inspection. We're looking at the critical defects and cosmetic defects. Critical defects being things like rots, bruising, heavy scarring, and cosmetics, anything that detracts from the nice nature of the skin. Del Monte is known as premium quality, so there should be very little in the way of cosmetics. The customer should find very clean fruit, limited scarring, and no rots whatsoever.
The Del Monte quality controllers can also identify every stage that the fruit has been through, when and where the bananas were offloaded, the ship that transported them, when they were loaded in Cameroon, and even when they were packed and in which farm. It's a system that enables Del Monte to give feedback to the plantation if any improvement or correction is needed, ensuring that the best product is offered to the customer.
I'm very, very proud. I see the plants around here. I see the packing station operating smoothly. I see harvesting. I see my workers going around cheerfully and so forth, and I think I'm proud.
Nah.
Male,